it's time to get forgiveness for my sin, I call to talk to Mama, and I know she's there with you. If there's a phone in heaven, then Jesus put me through. And give me one more chance to tell her that I love her. Oh, let me hear her sweet voice one more time. For I want her to know how much I'm thinking of her. If there's a phone in heaven, put my mama on the line. All those things I should have told her while I still had the chance. But one day, Lord, you took her with no warning in advance. And I'm begging now, please give me one last opportunity. If there's a phone in heaven, let my mama talk to me. And give me one more chance to tell her that I love her. Oh, let me hear her sweet voice one more time. For I want her to know how much I'm thinking of her. If there's a phone in heaven, put my mama on the line. Yes, if there's a phone in heaven, put my mama on the line.
Idaho, passed away peacefully at home with her loving family by her side on January 11th. She was born in Port Chester, New York on August 30th, 1943, to Joseph Dominic Gregory and Blanche Wasson Miles. Sherry and her mom stayed with her maternal grandparents while her dad Joe was fighting in World War II. When he returned, they later moved to Greenwich, Connecticut, where Joe and Blanche built their house. Sherry was beautiful, smart, and had a heart of gold, and always told you how it was. She was always there when you needed help. Sherry had a love for animals, but collies in particular. Sherry's grandfather, Father William G. Miles, bred and trained collies for various dog shows. He taught her everything she needed to know to enter the dog shows as a novice in her age group at the early age of 8. On June 8, 1952, she won the 12th annual Greenwich Pet Show at Coscob School with Best in Show for her collie, Boyd Beach. Did I say that right? Boyd Each. Okay. Boyd Each Honeysuckle, and received the Dr. Earl F. Schofield Trophy. She continued to train her collie and entered her in dog shows with her grandfather and received numerous ribbons in 1955. Sherry won the Best in Show with Boyd Each Honeysuckle at the Westchester Kennel Club. Sherry was always there to help watch her big brother Peter and baby brother Joe Jr. When her sister Catherine came along, she was the best big sister she could be. As the second oldest of 9 children, great big sister to Catherine, Jeff, Bruce, Aletha, Margaret, and Heather, She always had that motherly instinct, and it showed. She worked in a donut shop and would always bring home a treat to share with her siblings. She later went on to work at Condé Nast, where she met her first husband, John Sabia. They had 6 children together, 3 boys and 3 girls: Mary Ann, Susan, John, Peggy, Michael, and Edward. Her children were in the same age group as her younger siblings, so they all grew up playing together. They were known to always be over at her mother's house while Sherry went to work. She later remarried to Jay Hummer and had her 7th child, Patrick. She always said her greatest accomplishment in life was the birth of her children, and she always wanted to be a mom. Sherry and Jay moved the family to California in 1975. She attended De Anza College to get her nursing degree so she could work in convalescent hospitals and do private duty nursing. Sherry truly enjoyed all of her patients and gave them the best quality of life she felt they deserved. She moved to Twin Falls in 1983 with 3 of her children. A few years later, and a courtship went by, and Sherry married Walter Haffner, better known as Wally, and built a wonderful life together. Sherry helped Wally run his appliance business, and Wally taught both boys all he knew to take over one day. Sherry has touched everyone she came in contact with, and they only knew her as Mom. She had claimed all of her children's and grandchildren's friends as her own. Sherry had been blessed with 7 children, 13 grandchildren, and over 31 great-grandchildren. She captured the hearts of many she calls friends. Sherry was a matriarch of the family and has instilled a foundation of traditions to pass on from one generation to the next. Christmas was her favorite holiday, and her annual family Christmas party was not to be missed. She made a magical time for all the kids and loved reading The Night Before Christmas to them. Then Santa would arrive to greet all the little boys and girls. Sherry has been known to enjoy watching wrestling on TV with her son Patrick. Also, she helped Patrick with his paper route, but just enjoyed spending time with him. In her later years, she enjoyed watching Hallmark and playing Yahtzee on her phone. She got her Susie into playing Yahtzee as well, and they loved to play against each other while watching Hallmark. She also enjoyed going on short trips to the Fort Hall Casino with her daughter Peggy and gambling and staying overnight. She enjoyed going to yard sales with her son Eddie and coming home with great treasures. Her son John would call her on his way home from work just to catch up. Sherry looked forward to that one-on-one time with him. When Susie and John would come into town, all they wanted to do was spend time with their mom. She always looked forward to the holiday because she knew she would spend it with her family. Sherry, looking to do more in her life, decided to become an ordained minister on August 16, 2009. She has performed numerous ceremonies, including a same-sex couple that no one else would marry, and she said she would do it. They were over the top excited and blessed that she was willing to do so. She has also performed her grandson Paul's wedding. He was so happy that his grandmother made his wedding so special. The best gift Sherry could ever give was her time spent with family and friends. Sherry will truly be missed and loved forever by her family and friends. Sherry was preceded in death by her parents, Joseph Dominic Gregory, Blanche Wasson Miles Evans, and her husband Ben Evans of Stamford, Connecticut. Sherry's stepmother, Marlene Gregory of Daytona, Florida, her wonderful husband, Wally Haffner, her 2 children, Michael Angelo Sabia and Marie Ann Sabia Novell. She is survived by her children, Susan Sabia, and her wife, Marion Alves of Union Grove, Alabama, John Sabia and his fiancée, Jackie Barnett of Martinez, California, Peggy Sabia and her doggie, Harley of Twin Falls, Ed Sabia and his fiancée, Amy Rackham of Twin Falls, Patrick Hummer and his wife, Christina of Twin Falls, her sisters and brothers, Catherine Kirsten and her husband, Stan of Beacon Falls, Connecticut, Jeff Gregory and his wife, Jeannie of Estes, Florida, Bruce Gregory and his wife, Pam of New Haven, Connecticut, Aletha Tenka and her husband, Bill.
I'm sorry, it's Althea.
Oh, thank you. Can't read to Althea. I apologize. Althea Tenka, is that right? And her husband, Bill of Stamford, Connecticut, Margaret Bredden and her husband, Mark of Norwalk, Connecticut, Heather Russo and her husband, Stephen from Southbury, Connecticut, and her first husband, John Sabia of Stamford, Connecticut, and his wife, Beatrice Sabia. She has also left behind her beloved dog, Toby, who she rescued and is being cared for by her son. Now, he passed, didn't he?
He passed 11 days after.
11 days after Mom. That's what I understand, and I think he's up here. Yeah, he is up here with her. That's love, when you just have to go
He missed her
11 days after.
with her.
Without a doubt. Sherry is also survived by a very large family, which has spanned over 5 generations from as far as Connecticut to California. Sherry will truly be missed, loved, and remembered by all she touched in her 78 years of life. Sherry's children have decided to hold a celebration of life today here at the funeral home. Following the celebration of life, the family would like to ask you to join with them for a potluck to follow at the Brick House at 516 Hanson Street here in Twin Falls, Idaho, approximately from 5 until 8 p.m. But if I know Sherry and her family, that's 5 till it's over. And I'll bet it goes later than 8. Sherry was a great lady. I got to meet her and Wally through a mutual friend, Rudy Williamson, who played with Wally in the band. And one day my cooler went out, and that's a grievous thing in a funeral home. and you and your mom came out here and helped me.
I've heard about them for the next week.
Didn't want to be here. Did not want to be in a funeral home, but in fact, I think you left and Mom came back and finished it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm still here. I just
You were still
wasn't here.
Yeah, you were here, but you weren't
I was
here.
like out in the parking lot about 15 feet that way.
I remember something about it.
I got the hard part done. She finished up.
She finished it up, that's right. But a grand lady, I want to tell you, it was my pleasure to know her. And I don't think you could have met Sherry and not considered her friend. She just was warm, loving, and just drew you in like you were family. Great person. Well, the family's helped me put together a video tribute, and I'd like to turn your attention to the video monitors where we're going to watch that tribute. Then I'm going to read a couple memories from family, and then I'm going to ask anybody in the audience that wants to come up and share a memory, a story, to do so, encouraging you to remember we're among friends. There's nothing you can say that is going to offend anybody. Just we want to commemorate her life. So please join us.
you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you. I'll be forever thankful, baby. You're the one who held me up, never let me fall. You're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength.
We did. Great lady. Well, I'd like to start by reading some writings from Peggy. This was written on December 2nd, 1994 at 3:24 p.m. Mom, here's a little something to let you know I'm close. I hope you like them. I'll always be here if you need me. I hope you get to feeling better. I send my love with this letter and good health to you. I will call you later, and if you need anything, call me. The kids send their love, and Paul, with lots of love to go around. Love always, Peggy. Then she writes a little poem, No Words. No words can say how much you mean to me, today and all years through. No words can praise you too much for everything you do. But, Mom, you seem to understand the things words cannot say. So I hope you know the love and thanks that fills my heart this day. I love you always and forever, your daughter, Peggy. A special mom. No love like a mother's love. There's beauty in a budding rose, a brightly colored leaf. There's beauty in a friendly smile, a small child's rosy cheeks. There's beauty in a sunset and in a falling star, but the beauty of a mother's love surpasses all by far. I love you, Mom. Mom, 54 red roses, one for each year. Each year happy, rarely a tear. I have the privilege of being your daughter. I am the clay, you're my potter. You fill my life with joy and teach me right from wrong. You're there when I need you. Together our love grows strong. My love is your roses. I give no other than the best person ever, the one I call my mother. Those were great, meaningful. So we should have used that one in the front of the program. I really like that. It's really good. We need to laminate these for you so you can keep them nice. That's awesome. Well, now comes that time I'm going to pick on the audience. So is there anybody who'd like to start? Usually if I can get a starter, come on up. Great. We can go from there. Thank you.
I am my mother's son, and I had the best mom ever. All of you are here because she touched your life in one way or another. I'm the man here today because of that woman. She's strong. She's loving. She's endearing. She's kind. She's firm. She's fair. She did an amazing job holding us together. She had a hard life. She had a good life. She never, ever gave to us without sacrificing something. It was always a sacrifice to give to us. I would have phone calls with my mom till she got sick and she couldn't talk long. It was the best part of my day. I look forward to it 2-3 times a week. I'd call Mom. We'd talk and chat most of the time on my way home. There was one spot, I always lose the cell. Mom called me right back. You're on the hill. I said, yes, Mom, I'm on the hill. She always knew it was the high point of my day. We talked about all kinds of things. Brothers, sisters, jobs, spouses, mates. It was the only connection I had with my mom at that point, being so far away, and I treasured it. And the times that my mom would call and I didn't get the call, I have all those saved. They're on my phone. I just recently replayed one back just to hear her voice. And I want to leave with saying that I'm the luckiest man in the world. I had the best mom. And I love her and I miss her. I'm glad to be able to be here and share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Who'd like to be next? Don't be bashful. She wouldn't be. She would not be. I don't want to cut you short. Who else wants to come up? Come up. Great.
Hi, I appreciate you all coming out. My name's Susan. I'm her now oldest living daughter. That woman was the best mom in the world. There's nobody who ever gave. She didn't know who you were. She didn't know why you were there. But if you needed help, she was there. If you needed an appliance and couldn't afford it, she gave it to you on credit that knew it would not be paid. She didn't care. She had the hardest of gold. And like John, I live far away too. I'm not here to spend as much time with family as I could. But I cherish the drive home and the phone calls and catching up and wondering what was going on in Mom's world that day. Who did she help? What difference did she make in somebody's life? And in her 78 years, she touched hundreds of thousands of people. Whether you were 2 years old, a baby, needed help, Mom was there. When my friends and we were growing up as teenagers, she accepted every single friend that came through those doors. She never expected anything from you. She gave. And like John said, Mom sacrificed a lot for us children. Mom's greatest accomplishment in life was the birth of all 7 of her children. She is proud of every single one of us. She is proud of the people we have become and what we had to endure as children and breaking the cycle that we went through to make sure our children and our great-grandchildren had the best life we possibly could give them. That's what that woman did. She is the matriarch of our family. And so it's now us as the oldest of the children is to make sure that that goes on. Just because that woman has left this earth and has gone to the beautiful place that she deserves, we are going to stay behind and we are going to keep this family together. We are going to make sure we make time for each other like she made time for us. She dropped everything to be where you needed her. Not a second thought. There's nothing more I could possibly say that you guys don't already know about this woman other than we as her children loved her and did whatever we could to help her when she needed it. Because she did need it. She wouldn't tell you that, but you can see it. So I'll leave you with this. Pay homage to her. Think of her every single day when you go through life and you have your ups and you have your downs and things are not going the way that you want them to. Just remember, you only got one life. Live it. That's what she would want for you, to live your life to the fullest and make every single day count. Thanks.
Thank you. Who else? Anyone else want to share?
Hi, my name's Edward. I'm the second baby. Me and my brother Pat were the baby of the family. The most important thing is sitting in this room, and that's her great-grandkids and great-grandkids, her legacy. The best thing that my mom ever taught me was to mentor people. Don't matter about the situation. Teach them the knowledge that you have so they can build their own future. I've done that. My children are doing that. And I expect every great-grandkid and great-great-grandkid in this room to fill the void that is missing. And we don't want to replace her, but we want to make sure that she understands what she's created. So I love all my brothers and sisters. My relationship with my mom has always been special and different. I don't know if I was a son. I think I was more or less like her buddy. You know, we did a lot of crazy shit together, and I enjoyed every minute of it. She did teach me how to gamble. She also taught me not to gamble. Like John and Sue said, you know, the beginning of our life was hectic and chaos, and she created the calm. And as we moved to Idaho, when we were younger, we probably never thought that was a good idea. The three of us that got it, hey, you're going, you don't have a choice. But when we got here and, you know, my mom met Wally, this is when everything became perfect.
That was the best man they ever heard.
I have a father and I love him dearly, but I also have another father that I love him even more. And unfortunately, I didn't get the quality time that, you know, Ron and Wayne and some of the other kids had, but I appreciated it, of them loaning their dad to us and getting me on the straight and narrow and show me what work ethic was and how to say what you're going to say and mean what you say and don't go behind your word. And when they got together, it was like a superpower, because they both said what they're going to do and they meant it, and they never faltered from that. And that's what you guys in this room as young people have to understand, that your grandma and your mom, but to the grandkids out here, you know, she's a rock, she's stern, and she's steady. And you got to take that in life, because as we get older and you guys get older, this world that we have is crazy and messed up. But you have to have that anchor, you know, don't give up, work hard, work every day. And like Sue said, you only have one life, but I like working and being able to provide and teach people how to do what she taught us to do, and that was to be hardworking, honest young people. So, you know, I miss her dearly. I miss my brother and my sister, but I also miss Wally.
Yeah.
And her grandkids were good, but I know right now she's up there with him, the best man that ever touched her. You know what I mean, John?
Absolutely.
So,
I remember talking dispatch shop. He brought me back there. I came out infrequently from California, raising my own family. I didn't have a lot of money, and I just knew that this Wally guy, you know, my mom, oh my God, you know, Wally's this, Wally's that. I didn't meet this guy. You know, we strengthened, we saved, and got us over here. We drove in a piece of junk car we didn't know we'd make it. You know? But we got here, and I had that conversation, brought me to his shop, and he's got a wonderful, beautiful mom. And I said, yeah, I know. And he said, and I just want to let you know, I'm going to make her life easier. And when I heard that, my heart almost exploded in joy, because I knew my mom had nothing but a rocky road, you know, raising 6 kids, divorced, 6 kids. Who's going to take that on, you know? She met Wally, and Wally changed her whole world. He changed
all of ours.
your or her. He has touched you guys. Mom has touched you guys. And yeah, I want to thank you for bringing Wally up. I didn't have that connection with him, but you were a young kid when you came here. And by the way, no, I was supposed to be here. I was the rebel. Mom, you're going, you're going, you're going. No, I'm not, you're going. I'm going to chain you to the bumper. I'll come back. Whatever it was, you know. But she made a life here with Wally. And it was a good life. And Wally deserves that recognition, Eddie. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because he brought Mom joy. She gave recklessly to everybody. And who filled her? Wally.
He gave her everything.
So conversations, and she'd say, "Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that," and it's a great Christmas. You know, Wally was right there. Maybe, you know, like most husbands, you know, this is what we do, right? You know, Mom created a lot of work. She sure did.
I think Wally was the first Santa Claus. Sorry, grandkids. The gig's up. And we didn't need the beard on that one. It came naturally. Yeah.
So when I left, Wally charged up my Freon. Got us air conditioning so we could make it home. Just like got us home. And like you said, it's not going to last, but at least you'll have a comfortable ride home. and I was so grateful that while they existed, my mom,
Yeah.
or my mom, that there was somebody there that was going to take care of her too. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to say a special thanks for something that I'm not mature enough to do and mentally able to handle it. But I do want to say thank you, Pat and Peggy, for doing something that I could not sustain. I will tell you a little story. Me and Amy, you went there. I went many times without people knowing that I went, you know. Sometimes she wasn't there. I got the end of the part, you know. But the last time we went and saw her was the weirdest shit ever. Because many times we'd go and she just kind of wouldn't really say nothing and this and that. And that day she was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and said, "Hi, Ed." And I was shocked. And "I love you." And then she just looked at me and she says, "I'm just tired." So it was our separating. But for all my siblings that put this on today, that Sue, the pictures, Marion being here, her sisters being here, I appreciate you guys. And it shows the unification of our family no matter how effed up we are. You know, I'm very proud to be a Sabia, and I'm very proud to be standing here and looking at all the beautiful grandbabies and great-grandbabies right there. So, thank you, Pat, again. Thank you, Peggy, for being there for her. And I wish I could have been stronger, but it's just not in my DNA on that part. So somebody said at my wedding Saturday is Ed could be the hardest, most aggressive hard ass you could ever met, but he's the most feminine, compassionate, sensitive man that you can have. So I think my grandson's telling me I'm done. So.
He's giving you love.
We love you, Mom, and I love everybody in the room, and you know, and to new beginnings. This is the way she'd want it. The funny part is I always wear black. Everybody knows that. And so I asked Sue, can I wear blue? Because my mom's eyes were blue. And every day I go out and I look at the sky. It's my mom shining down on me. So it's pretty badass. It's pretty cool. And to her stepson, Brian, I love you. Thanks for being here. This is Brian. Brian was a real close friend to my mom, and he also was helping and assisting her in her time. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here, Brian. We appreciate you. So, you want to say bye? And thanks for Parks for putting on the event, and, you know, let's go party. Let's do what she expected us to do. Because I know she didn't expect us to sit in this room and think, you know, sad thoughts. So I love all my brothers and sisters, and I love everybody in the room. So let's make her proud and become something. I hand it over to you, brother.
As you all know, I'm the youngest of the family. I don't come up in front of everybody. These people right here, I love them both. Mike will tell you when I first introduced this place to me, I was hoping never to step foot in here again. Sorry.
That's all right.
It was the refrigerator of my dream, guys. I loved every minute. He knows it. You know, Mom would always tell you that I was the quiet of the family. Well, you know what? I wasn't, I found out. My brothers, I love them both. I love my sisters. And I will keep that promise my mom said, that they think they know what we talked about that night that she said to my family, but to find out, I now have to say, I will promise that I will carry and do everything she did. You need something, I'm there. I don't know how hard it's going to be for me, but it is. And for my family, I'm glad they're still standing behind me, even though a lot of them want to kick me. And this one over here, too. The two oldest, my older brothers, I look back and
when we came here from California, I always stayed with my brother Eddie, and he always told me we'd be strong. Always come home, look at Mom, we'd be strong. I feel like I lost a piece of me. I promised I would be strong, and can't do it, guys.
We got you. We love you, Pat. We got you.
It's just, hopefully we carry on and I carry on. And I hope to God that I do all what you guys and she wanted.
She'll be right there with us, huh? We all have a piece of her in
Yes.
us, and all of us together make you.
Oh,
We'll be there for you, brothers.
Pal, I'm proud you got up there and said something.
well, that's what I said. Mike didn't think I'd step this close.
Well, as y'all know, I'm Peggy. I'm the youngest of the girls. I'm going to try and make it through this. It's going to be really short, but one of my fondest memories with my mom was when I graduated high school and she asked me what I was going to be and what I was going to do with my life. We all know Mom just didn't do appliances. She was a doctor, nurse on all of us. If we hurt ourselves, she fixed us up. Very seldom did any of us go to the hospital. She threw us on the table and said, I'm going to fix you up. Well, I followed into my mother's footsteps because I wanted her to be proud and know that what she did, she is amazing. I am going to be making a trip to Fort Hall to celebrate her. So yes, anybody who wants to go is welcome to go. I dedicated my career starting at the age of 19. I am now 54 in the medical field, following my mother's footsteps. Making her proud and giving her her last wishes took a lot from me and the family. I'm glad to see some of Wally's family here. That means a great deal to me. To my family, I love y'all. To my aunts, you did an amazing job. And I know you miss her as much as I do. Thanks.
Good job. Anyone else?
One thing I can say I remember of Wally was when we came in, he had his first time I was going up to the door, I hear this little music, and then it quit. And I'm like, what was it? He wouldn't tell us. He just said, you gotta come to Jackpot and listen to us one of these times. And I said, oh, well, I want to hear it again. He says, but if I hear it again, I have to teach you. So he's stumbling on the banjo, playing his little banjo, singing a song, just trying to make up stuff that he was having to go to Jackpot with. And he says, what brought you so interested? I said, well, I heard it coming up the thing, and then he stopped playing. And so it made us very excited to listen to him play, because he played his music all the time, and tell us that he was going to go to Jackpot and play music and stuff down there with Grandma and that. The things I remember about Grandma, she always did a Christmas party every year, and Eddie was a big part of that. They threw this big Christmas party for all the kids, everybody that didn't even know or didn't know, and they all came along and brought presents and had a big thing for Christmas for everybody, even people that didn't know. Like they said, you were off the street, they bring you in. You know, Eddie was that way too. You know, they quiet, hey, let's grab the Christmas party, big old thing, let's go. And always, it was always family, but Eddie and them were a big part of it. And there was lots of things that I remember of my grandma, and I could go on forever. She was always very upstairs, like you said. She was very open her door. You want to come see her any time of the day or night. She would always sit there and talk to you. She would work at the bars, go to the bars. She'd be there, oh, I can make you a drink. And boy, she made some drinks. Sometimes it was competitive who was going to make the drink. She'd make some drinks to put you first one away. Yep. But I always remember her being, you know, the maidenhead, like as well as with Eddie, being part of the bar. She always had to compete. And she always wanted to make them show and teach people different things that she did. But she always had her own little secret of things. So like I said, with her and Wally, they did a lot of things together. And like I said, the first time I met Wally, it was kind of sick. It was kind of crazy because watched him. We were going up there to visit, and he's playing the banjo, quit. I was just like, wait a minute, you know, it was kind of disappointing, but he ended up playing, teaching us songs we were trying to learn, and make some music to go to Jackpot with so they could go down there and sing. So those are the memories I remember of.
Thanks.
I'm Paul. My grandmother actually married me and my wife Ashley. And it's actually hard for me to talk up here right now because, you know, I'm pretty quiet. I keep to myself all the time. My son and my daughter both just recently lost their grandfather. And I told him the other day, you know, you gotta show your emotions, you gotta let it out. And I mean, if I tell him that I should be able to do the same. And, you know, the one thing my grandmother always told me is to be strong and be proud of who I am, and that family's the number one thing. And recently, I talked to some of my family, and I've also strayed away from some of my family. And, you know, I don't know how to explain it. It's just easy for me to hide and try to be the rock of the family. And just like my Uncle Pat, Grandma always asked us to hold the family together and to be the strong ones. And I was with her off and on up until the very end. I was there when they took her out, you know, and my uncles and my mom and them were all breaking down, and I was there for them. And, you know, I made sure that she was taken out with respect. I helped take her out. You know, I couldn't just let her go with the mortuary. I had to, you know, escort her out to the car, and I just really miss her. I want to be there for the family. I want to help out. And, you know, as she would always say, family's number one. If there's ever a problem, you know, come talk to her, and she's there. The door would always be open. And just even after I got out of high school, she asked me where I was going with my life, because I had dropped out, and she said, no, you're not. You're going to go back and you're going to finish. And you're going to be my support to the family. You're going to be there for everyone. And I told her I would be. And I went back and I graduated. And, you know, I was in the medical field for a while, but I went back to my roots that my dad does as a truck driver, but the medical field is always there, and I will always respect that. And because of my grandmother's, that's why. And she would want all of us to come together, be happy, and, you know, be a family and carry on her traditions, the Christmas parties, the Thanksgivings, all the holidays, and just celebrate and not be nagging each other. You know, she didn't install that in us, and we all need to be there for one another. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I would encourage you as you go back to the brick house to continue sharing these memories. I know that's what Sherry would have wanted. In reflecting on her life, I found a couple poems I'd like to read. And the first one I think you're really going to see her in. It's called A Mother's Journey. And it goes like this. The young mother set out her footprint on the path of life. Is the way long, she asked? And the guide said, yes. And the way is hard. You'll be old and ill before you reach the end of it. But I promise you that the end will be better than the beginning. But the young mother was happy, and she could not believe that anything could be better than those younger years. So she played with her children and gathered flowers with them along the pathway of life and bathed them in clear streams. And the sun shone warm on them. And the young mother cried, nothing will ever be lovelier than this. And then the night came, and a storm, and the path grew dark, and the children shook with fear and cold. But the young mother drew them close and protected them. And the children said, Mother, we are not afraid, for you are near, and we know that no harm shall come to us. Then the morning came, and there was a hill ahead, and the children climbed, and they grew weary. And the mother was weary, but all the time she said to the children, little patience, and we will be there. So the children climbed, and when they reached the top, they said, Mother, we could not have done it without you. And the mother, when she lay down that night, looked up at the stars and said, this is a better day than the last. For my children have learned fortitude in the face of hardness. Yesterday I gave them courage. Today I have given them strength. And then the next day came, and strange clouds rolled in and darkened the earth, clouds of war, hate, and evil. And the children groped and stumbled. It was then that the mother said, look up, lift your eyes unto the light. And the children looked and saw above the clouds an everlasting glory, and it guided them well beyond the darkness. And that night the mother said, "This is the best day of all, for I have shown my children God." And the days went on, and the weeks and the months and the years, and before anyone knew it, the mother had grown ill and became old. But her children had grown tall and strong, and they walked with courage. And then when the way was rough for her, it was then that they carried her, for she was as light as a feather. And at last they came to a hill, and beyond they could see a shining road and golden gates flung open wide. It was then that Sherry said, "I've reached the end of my journey, and I now know that the end is truly better than the beginning, for my children can walk on alone, and their children after them." It was then that the children said, "You always walk with us, Mother, even when you've gone through the gates." And they stood and they watched as she went on alone, and the gates closed after her. And it was then that they said, "We cannot see her, but she is still with us." A mother like ours is more than a memory. Your mother is always with you. She's a whisper of leaves as you walk down that street. She's that cool hand on your brow when you're not feeling well. Your mother lives inside your laughter, and she's crystallized in each and every one of those teardrops. You need to remember she's a place you came from, your first home, and she will continue to be the map you will follow with every step you take. She's your first love and your first heartbreak, and I promise you that nothing on earth can separate you, not time, not space, and especially not death. In Proverbs 6, verse 20 through 22, we're told, "My son, keep your father's commandments, and forsake not your mother's teachings. Bind them on your heart always. Tie them around your neck, and when you walk, they will lead you. And when you lie down, they will watch over you. And when you awake, they will talk with you." I found a poem, and I read to the family, and I think it's in your program. It's called "I'm Free," and I think it's what Sherry would be saying to us today. And it goes like this: "Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took his hand when I heard him call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day to laugh, to love, to work or play. Tasks left undone must stay that way, for I found that peace at the close of day. If my parting is left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah, yes, these things I too will miss. And be not burdened with times of sorrow, for I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life has been full. Good friends, good times, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief, but don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your heart and share with me. God wanted me now. He set me free." And I know Sherry's free from those pains and struggles that we all are going to face in our future life. But she's free from that today. She's up there with Wally and her other kids and her family, just celebrating not having to hurt, struggle. Yeah, Toby, her dog. Yep. I also found a poem that I think reflects on how you, the family, is feeling today. I think you'd be saying, "God saw you were getting tired and the cure was not to be. So he put his arms around you and whispered, 'Come with me.' With tearful eyes we watched you and we saw you fade away. And although we loved you dearly, we could not make you stay. A golden heart stopped beating, hard-working hands finally at rest. God broke our hearts to prove to us that he only takes the best." And I know in the beginning, I said I didn't think that a funeral was a time to preach at those of you who are here. And I don't believe that. But I do think we need some guidance at a time like this. So I picked 3 little one-liner scriptures, keeping it simple, like I know Sherry would have wanted, but to the point. And I think selecting Psalms 146, where we're told that God is our refuge and our strength, and that he is a very present help in times of trouble. And we're told in Psalms 147, verse 3, that the Lord heals the brokenhearted, binding up their wounds. And we're reminded in Matthew 5:4 that blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. And all those talk about help. Sherry was a helpful person. And I think that what it's trying to tell us in those scriptures is that the Lord wants us to open our hearts to him so he can help us. I know it's difficult for us right now to understand why Sherry's not here. Because if God answered our prayers in ways that we wanted or understood, she'd be here with us. She'd be healthy and happy. But it doesn't work that way. But I think Sherry taught everybody in this room lessons. And I think that God is teaching us a lesson through this grief. He's making you handle this grief, and it's dang hard. But it will make you stronger. Make you stronger to face the future. Just like many of those lessons that Sherry taught us and that she learned from her family. The one thing that I heard as everyone spoke today was the unity of family. That was so important to her. And guys, that's something in today's age with social media, we think we're closer. We're not. We're in a box. We're not communicating. We're not joining up. Do you know how many How many people I see that only get together at weddings and funerals? That's wrong. You're so blessed as children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren to have had the strength of family at the holidays. Please, don't let that end. Bring that together. You are so blessed. We grew up in the best times when family meant something. Make it mean something again. That's what Sherry would have wanted you to learn. Be together as a family unit. My God, 7 kids, that's a tough job. 7 kids across the country. Tougher job. And I know she didn't have it easy. And like you said, she sacrificed for you. And I just want you all to come together and remember what a grand lady she was, please. Well, we have one more song. Well, I got one more thing, got off track. Sorry. I truly hope you take the teachings you learned from Sherry into your heart and allow the love of God to give you the understanding to accept this loss and the strength to face tomorrow. And I encourage you to remember that death leaves a hole that nothing can heal, but it's love that leaves a memory that no one can steal. We have one final song, Dancing in the Sky, and then we will close in prayer and get you off to the brick house to celebrate our life. Thank you.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. So tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is there music? Is there art and adventure? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived. Dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived. Does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free
Please join me in prayer. Father in heaven, again, we thank you for this day, but most of all, we thank you for allowing Sherry Ann Haffner to be part of our lives. Thank you for allowing us to share her for 78, far too short, but wonderful years. Lord, I ask your blessings on her family as they journey through their grief. Lift their hearts to know that she rests with you in your heavenly home. And Lord, keep Sherry with you until you come again and reunite her spirit to be with a new and everlasting body in the resurrection. A time when you promise us there will be no sadness, no illness, and especially no death. Lord, we humbly ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude this portion of our services. The family would like you to join them at the Brick House for a time of fellowship and sharing and some good food. I encourage you as you leave today, however, not to walk alone, but do carry memories of Sherry with you and share them often. That way she will continue to live in your hearts and minds forever and always. One way we further you to keep doing that is back near where you signed the register book is a little bowl, little glass hearts, and a blue card sitting next to that bowl. I want you to take one of the cards and reflect on the message and one of the hearts. Every time you need Sherry near, just rub that little heart and remember she lives forever in your hearts and minds. And folks, in the next few weeks and months, take the time to give the family a call, stop by their homes, let them know that you care. I know at this time we don't often know what words to say, but what's most important to remember is it's not words at all. It's just doing what Sherry would have done, giving of yourself for others. That's what she would have done. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your family. It's my honor to know Sherry and Walt. I appreciate it. God bless you folks. Go forth in peace with the love of the Lord.